got married as a virgin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you go on Bella Nigeria, for instance, my story is still there. And I said I've got 28 years of virginity to pour into one woman.
Sheesh.
Then that tweet, that particular one,
It went viral.
I think it was just the vivid and descriptive way I said it. So apparently, I did not know that Bella had taken note of it,
Right.
but I was quite impressed with how they went about it. Because what they did was, they didn't reach out then. They waited for me to get married.
And then
They now sent a message that we took note of this. We would like you to share your story now that you're married.
wow.
Since now we believe that you should have put the 28 years. So right? So we told our story, my wife and I. Both of us actually, it wasn't just me, it was both
Amazing.
of us. So we learned with each other.
And I think, do you know what? I really wish people would take to that, because people are so quick to want to try. But it's like, if you are saying, till death do you part, you're doing this forever. You get to, you're what's the word? You're trialing, you're doing things. You're going to find out what works or not. You don't need to try before you buy.
The thing is, you see, the devil is smart. And mankind has been largely foolish since Adam.
Let's be real. Yeah.
And we do not realize that the simplicity of God's admonitions, wisdom is inside.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Taking Up Space with me, Lady T. This series is about getting to know individuals and sharing their insights on the space that they operate in. So these spaces could be in entertainment, in health, in business, entertainment, community. I think I said entertainment twice, but that's okay. And we look at their journey and how they navigate that particular space as a Christian. Now, my guest today is a successful and prominent Afro gospel artist, as well as a culture architect. I'm liking these new definitions of being, industry changes. He is the founder of a social impact platform called Out and Aramanda, which is an Afro urban music and arts festival, and now Black Flame podcast. So please help me welcome Mr. Gaise Baba.
Ta-da! Gaise Baba in the building.
I love it. I love it.
Life
Finally. Do you know what? It's weird. Like, seeing you from afar and then seeing you close, it's like, this is really good.
Does it give the
like
same
this.
vibe from afar and
I think
close?
this is better. It's better in person.
Cool
Yeah.
stuff.
Because it's like, okay, we get to see him in person. Like, you're real. You're like, you're human. Like, you have like blood running through your veins. You're not just like.
That's like Jesus telling Thomas, like,
Right.
yeah, put your hands in my thumb.
Yeah, put
my
it.
palm so you can
Exactly. And you're not AI generated either. So you're actually alive. You're a real human being. So thank you so much, for coming on. I really appreciate it. But I have to say, and I feel like I always do confessions at the beginning of podcasts, each episode with my guests.
Right.
So you've been doing your thing for a long time, a very long time, since like, 2012, right? Or was it before that?
Professionally?
Yeah.
2010.
2010. Ooh, 2 years out still. Confession number one. Okay. But I actually got to know who you were because of my 2-year-old niece.
2-year-old.
Yep.
At the time.
I'm telling you. And we're talking about, this is only a couple of years ago.
Are you for real?
I'm telling you. It's wild because this is what I'm saying. This is confession and this is good for my well-being right now. So basically, my brother-in-law was feeding her food, like giving her food and stuff like that. And then he sent me a video of her singing your song, Elijah Level. She was singing. So as she was eating, all like she was doing, she was like singing the song, like literally I was just like, I said, what is she singing? Oh, she said, he's like, oh, she's singing the song that like, cause he likes all Afro gospel and stuff like that.
Right.
And he's a fan of yours as well.
Great.
So I think, and what he does is he puts like a CD mix
Okay.
of Afro gospel songs for the two daughters, my nieces, and he
That's
plays
very
them over. Yeah,
intentional.
very intentional in the car, at home, and and then just literally in the kitchen eating. She started singing Elijah Level, and I was like, wait. What's she
What song is
singing?
that?
I said, what's she singing? She goes, oh, it's by, it's this song by this guy. I said, how come I've never heard this song? Wait, I was like, wait, I felt a bit like, hold on, why is my 2-year-old niece singing a really cool song and I don't even know about it? So literally, he sent me that, and that's how I got to know you, and then literally went through all your songs.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
I'm telling
God
you.
indeed works in mysterious ways.
He really does. He really does. Because I was just like...
So you're supposed to be like putting them onto music.
Yeah.
And
but it was the
up
reverse.
Happening the other way.
It was the other way around. And I was just like, wow, like these girls. So like, shout out to my sister and my brother-in-law, because yeah, like you said, they're very intentional about what the girls listen to. And the songs that they sing, they're fans of Limit Blaze as well. They be singing his songs. I've sent him videos of them singing his songs as well. So it's just like, wow, I have to find that video and send it to you.
I would love that.
Because I was just like, how this little munchkin like singing? She was only 2 at the time.
Wow.
Only 2. So yeah, so she loved that. So I thought, you know what? I need to tell you this.
Cool stuff.
Now my conscience is at peace. So I feel good now.
So when you heard it, how far back did you go check out the work?
I think probably the logo EP.
Yeah, that was 2020.
Yeah, so I know there's far back, but I was like, oh, let me just have a look. But yeah, I think the logo EP, I was just like, wow. I was like, where have I been? This is not good. But hey, I'm here now.
Yeah.
Better late than never.
Better late than never.
And I get to see you in person. So this is really good. So again, thank you so much for being here. Right. Why the name Gaise? Like, because I was like, there's got to be a government name somewhere. So I found your government name. I was like, okay. I see that. But
what's my government name?
Akiade. Hold on, let me say Ibu Oye.
Close enough.
Sorry.
Ibu.
So my Britico is
yeah, you're more British than Nigerian.
Yeah, which is not sad, but
no, it's not sad. It's alright.
We'll get there eventually somehow.
Akiade Ibu.
Yeah.
That's the A and the I in Gaise.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what's the G?
Boluaga.
Wow. What is it? Okay, this is very like I think one of the things I love about Nigerian names is that, or Yoruba names, is that they carry weight. They carry weight with the meaning.
I think Igbo names carry weight as well.
Oh, sorry, Igbo. Sorry, no disrespect to any Igbo if you're Igbo listening.
I'm just saying. Edo names as well.
Yes.
Edo names carry weight.
Yeah.
I don't know so much about Delta, but I want to believe
that they do as well.
Africans are very intentional with
their names. Yeah.
But Yoruba in a deep way.
Yeah, very, very deep. Very, very deep. So how did you...
I think our generation is going a bit deeper. Like the names we name children nowadays, you don't hear a parent name a child Shegun or Okwe.
No.
You're hearing names like Idara Oluwa.
Yes, proper biblical,
they're trying to find,
yeah,
which is quite interesting. I'd like to know what the next generation then goes to. There's a comedian friend of mine that says he feels that the next generation will mix English and Yoruba together. Like
so it starts splitting half Yoruba.
No, like it was something like Joy Oluwa.
It's the same thing. It's the same definition. Like two same meaning, just different languages.
One single name, right?
Yeah.
But it becomes like a compound name, but hopefully not.
Okay. All right. So what's the meaning behind, like, obviously you said the I and the A.
Yeah, so it's just an acronym of my initials.
Boluaga,
Akiade, Ibu, Samuel.
Okay. Did that take a long time to like come?
No, it was from high school.
Yeah.
Actually, I used to write my names out as like, my surname and then my name. So
Yeah.
it used to be Iboye Boluaga Akande Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
So it used at the end it will now come out like Igas or Igas. That's Iboye Boluaga
Yeah.
IGAS. So
Yeah.
like Igas or something. So there was a classmate of mine. We were in the dormitory, and he was just thinking to himself. It was just two of us, and he goes, Samuel, because he used to call me Samuel in Casey. I attended King's College.
Mm.
He goes, Samuel, this your mix of names is not cool.
Oh.
Like, I guess it's like you can flip it, and it to be cooler. I say, oh yeah, flip it. Then he just takes him like 5-10 minutes. He's looking through it, and he goes, guys, G first, then A, then I, then S. Guys, it's better than I guess.
Yeah, you don't really want to be announced on stage. Please welcome, I gas. Bro,
No,
are you
that would have
gassing
been
yourself?
wrong.
What kind of gas are you gassing
That would
before?
have been wrong. So I wasn't in music then. It was just a name,
yeah.
random, just an acronym.
Yeah.
Right. So when this must have been in '98.
Mm-hmm.
So when I finished from school, I used to love Michael Owen.
Oh, footballer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even though I wasn't a Liverpool fan, I just
Okay.
loved Michael Owen
Interesting.
as
Just as a
player.
person, yeah.
He just felt like guy was cute and he could play very well.
It's cute.
So I liked him. But I'm an Arsenal fan,
Come on.
right?
Take a bow for that.
So now I don't really like Owen anymore because he says a lot of
Rubbish things, right?
about Arsenal.
Yeah.
So just putting that out there. But my first email address ever was owengaze@yahoo.co.uk.
Oh my days. My guy actually went for Owen Gaze.
So I did ONGAIS@yahoo.co.uk. Those days in Nigeria, to use the internet, you had to go to a cyber cafe. Right. So that was that. Then later on, I took out the Owen when I started singing amateur 2004.
Mm-hmm.
So I was known as Gaise, GAIS.
Okay.
Right. Then I finished, I studied economics in Ife, OAU, Obafemi Awolowo University, Great Ife. When I finished, then I served. When I was done with my youth service, I got signed to a label. Now, on the label was where we now added the E.
Okay. So it was just GAIS, yeah.
Because GAIS, some will say guys, some will say geese. The pronunciation was always
somehow wrong.
Yeah. So the label owner, his wife, was like, you could just add an E and the pronunciation becomes more straightforward. So it's like gaze. Like, oh, cool. So I was gaze for the first 5, 6, 7 years of my career. There was no Baba. Even though Baba was in my social media handles from time. Because Baba was like a hype, like Gaise Baba.
Oh, right, okay, yeah,
and
yeah.
There was a friend of mine that actually said it first time when I was in school, when I was in uni. It used to be Gaise y'all. It's like Y apostrophe ALL. So it's like Gaise y'all. So that was, I had it.
It's Gaise y'all.
Exactly, like it's Gaise y'all. It's Gaise y'all. And she goes, I remember it was in front of Morimi Hall in OAU. She was going to her room. We're closed then. And I was going to walk back to AO. And she's like, Akari, that your Gaise y'all. Doesn't sound like your music. Your music, it doesn't give Gaise y'all. Like, it's something like Gaise Baba. And I was like, that's first person ever. Shout out to Esther.
Wow.
She's married to my friend now. She goes, it should be something like Gaise Baba. I was like, And I'm walking back to my room and I'm thinking, yeah, Gaise Baba. That's actually better than Gaise y'all. Right? So I was using it for like email address, anything, but the official name was Gaise.
Still,
so it's just like hype. It was like
Gaise
Baba, right? So it was, I think, 7 years into my career. I was 2017, and the handles, all my social media handles were Gaise Baba. There was now confusion. Is the name Gaise? Is the name Gaise Baba? I thought about it. I gave myself some time. I gave it some thought. I said, you know what? let's go with Gaise Baba. It's more,
It
it's
sounds
more
more
clear
official,
cut.
and it's like, yeah.
Yeah,
So this is why I love talking about names. Like we said, names have meanings, and there's always a story behind it. And the fact that the way how yours has come, that's a great story in itself. It's like really cool. And then I'm sure people must think, oh, you know, he probably just thought it out of the thin air like that.
nah,
Just like
like there's a
sometimes these things,
journey. There's a
yeah,
journey to it. I know
absolutely.
in hindsight, I thought about some time back, and I was like, most of the artists I respect, dead or alive, well, most of them dead. Well, respect in terms of like the kind of artist this
Yeah,
person was, like the way this person used music,
yeah,
and how the person just kind of like was bigger than just music.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Most of them have their names has prefix and suffix,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
has like name and surname,
That's true. That thing
right?
irritates me so much. It irritates me.
So it's like
Continue.
Bob Marley, Fela
Good
Kuti,
see. Yeah.
Oliver Ntukudzi,
Hmm.
Lucky Dube,
Yeah.
Majek Fashek. It's just kind of like,
Yeah, kind of like
so
that. Yeah, yeah.
I feel like it's it could be like it's a coincidence, but at the same time, I don't think it
It's
is.
not. Yeah. It's
Like,
a it's
I'm
it's
not
a
just
beautiful
a
name
one name person. It's just like, so even my artist name has name and surname.
as well. Can you
Gaze
imagine?
Baba.
And it was just like that, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm a bit jealous of you because you've got you're an alumni of Berkeley Music College. I'm not like, let's be real. Like, I think that's a
It's
big
not
thing.
hard now. It's not hard now. Just do a diploma. And
But still, it's still.
automatically- you have
Damn. Why are you gonna say like that? I was really thinking. I thought you were gonna say, yeah. It was it was so great. It was like so easy like that. So I could just go online and get a diploma. Wow.
you know.
So if you would like a diploma from Berkeley College of Music, then just go online, find what you like, and just do it. Right? Right?
Exactly.
Easy like that. What made you
Exactly.
want to do that?
I mean, it was at a time when it wasn't like a lot was happening, and a friend of mine shared the diploma with me, and I was like, oh, they've been saying it. I've not done anything bookish since I left uni. I might as well just do this. It was a couple of months, about 6 thereabout, and I aced it, by the way, so I did very well.
Oh, okay. All right. Is it a distinction?
Yeah.
Confidently, yes, it's cool. I mean, listen, that stuff like that I think is good to brag about. Like, it's a nice accomplishment. Give yourself the flowers. I would say
Exactly.
give yourself the flowers for doing
Plant
it.
it
So
yourself, harvest it yourself, then pack it, and honor yourself with it.
that part, honestly, so it's a good look. It's a good look. So let's talk about your before we talk about your social media platforms, because I think, because as I was reading, and I was just like, wow, you're the type of person that I wanted to speak to, and I'm glad I'm speaking to, because what you're doing, yes, you are in music, but your social community stuff you do, I feel like is bigger because it's making more of a difference, it's making more of an impact. But before we talk about that real quickly, music-wise, like, what made you get into music? Like, was there a particular artist? Was it God said this, or did someone compliment you? Why?
And every
the
time I have to
music?
share this, I feel like I've shared it like
Really?
countless
But okay.
yeah. But I mean, there are different. There are, the genesis was when I was in high school. I was in the choir.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Then we finished high school. There was a friend of mine who we attended the same church. We were in KC together, and we were in the choir together in KC. So now we were out of KC. We had graduated, out of King's College. We had graduated. We were attending Archbishop Viney Memorial Church Cathedral in GRA Ikeja together, and we were missing singing.
Right.
Because we used to sing regularly in school. Now we're out of school. We're just in this big church. And church was really big and beautiful. At the time, it was maybe the only church that had AC and rug inside. So somehow both of us just then had this shared dream that we would love to sing
Music, yeah.
in the church.
Mm.
We love to present music, right? Like special number, right? Then we're like, okay, what will we sing? We didn't have any song because when we're in the choir, the leaders of the choir will source for the songs, will source the songs, bring it, teach the choir, will sing it. Now there was no leader to go and bring a song from anywhere. We didn't have any songs. So like, okay, let's see, let's think of where they used to get songs from. So I remember I go home and I was thinking to myself, like, wherever these guys used to get the songs from, somebody wrote it.
Mm.
How about I try to write one? That's how I started trying to write.
Nice.
Yeah, so I started to.
Start writing like that.
I just started writing. I mean, I won't sing what I wrote then, but I started.
Were there songs that
No, not like
that for behind closed doors, or
no,
was it
no. Just like they just I won't sing them because they're
nonsense
not
songs?
good.
They're not good.
Not like
But you
I won't
started
see
though,
it
yeah.
as
But you
this
started,
song is good, song is good. No, but I started from there,
yeah.
right? I tried writing maybe a verse. I wrote something. Then I didn't have words, so I remember I would go to our daily bread.
Mm.
I mean, there was a devotional. It was almost like the principal devotional across Nigeria at the time. It was called Our Daily Bread. And they would have these poems at the end of each devotional day. And the poems will be, they will have rhymes. So I would find the days that talked about faith.
Yeah.
Pack all the rhymes together, build verses out of it, make one of them the chorus. So I was borrowing those words and then putting melody on it. I wrote like 2, 3 songs like that. I had my first song book. I wish I could find it, but I don't. I had written like 1, 2, 3, 4 songs like that. Then after a while, I just said, okay, let me challenge myself. I'm not going to use our daily bread. Let me try and write something by myself. And I tried and I wrote something. So I just started like that. That was the genesis of how I started.
Love it. No, it's good because I think how the journey to music is always an interesting one because some people might like, they were in a group or choir or whatever. Some people just start singing and all of a sudden, oh, you're good. Or a family member might say, oh, I think you should. But, typical African parents, they'll be like, go and finish your book. This singing, no. Go and finish your book. Go and get an education. Go and become this, that, the other. But, yours has happened. All right, let's talk about your, I guess, your social impact platforms because I think for me, your music is fantastic, but reading on what you do is I think is phenomenal. Why did you start Lights Out? Was there something that happened to you that you thought I need to change the next generation, that I don't want them to be like this, or what happened to me? What can I do to help them?
How did I start Light Out? I obeyed my way into it.
You obeyed your way.
Yeah. So I wasn't. Light Out was not a brilliant idea. It wasn't like I had this. Oh, I like to do this. Let me go. No, it wasn't anything like that. It was. It was God nudging my heart to go and do a concert in my secondary school. That was all. He didn't tell me anything about going around schools. He just said, go and do a concert. He just nudged my heart to go do a concert in my alma mater, King's College. So it used to come as like nudges. Came, I think, 2015. I got married 2014. So 2015, and I got married as a virgin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you go on Bella Nigeria, for instance, my story is still there. If you Google Gaise Funto, that's my wife's name. Google Gaise Gaise Funto on Bella Nigeria, you'll see the story.
We need a part 2 of this so we can deep dive into that. I'm not even joking, seriously. Okay, but continue. We're going to do part 2 at some point.
There's
but
an entire story around that.
Yeah.
So when that story broke, because I remember that I made a tweet in 2014, earlier before I got married, and I was talking about how Christian creatives can sing on topics beyond praise and worship. So I've been on this
Thing for a
line of
while.
thoughts for a
For a while.
while.
Mm-hmm.
I've always believed there was more to Christian music than praise and worship. Always believed it. And anybody that has followed my journey since 2010 will have seen that this guy is not normal. It's not. It's not your.
It's not like your
It's not your
regular gospel artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first single was movie song. I took the story of Jesus and I sang about it like it happened in Nigeria.
Wow.
Called Joseph, an interior decorator. Called This was a song, but it was like a movie.
Mm.
That's why it was called a movie song. Called Mary, this young girl, T.O.T. Sherry. They were ready, wanting more Shoebi. All of a sudden, baby boy is coming. Joseph is wondering, maybe thinking of running. What is all this becoming? Are you calling me a dummy? Because I tried to think, how would Joseph have felt?
Yeah.
Like I read the Bible like that. I try to.
So the
try to
characters,
understand
their
the
emotion,
characters,
or their
contextualize.
yeah.
You know, that would have carried me somewhere else now because I wanted to talk about something. But let me stay on.
Like I said, part 2 is coming with
Let me
this. So we're
stay
gonna do
on-
part
Let
2.
me stay on point, right? So I was talking about that. I did a thread, and in the midst of that thread, I now said something like, for instance, I was saying you don't have to preach at people. You can subtly pass messages. And I said, for instance, I'm waiting for the young Christian artist that will do a song that is, you are trying to preach abstinence before marriage, but you don't say don't have sex. You don't have to say don't have sex until you get married. I say you can flip it and say, I can't wait to get married so I can finally have sex. Because what you've done is you have told people, I'm waiting till I get married, or I'm not having sex because I'm not yet married.
Exactly.
And you've also not made the music about talking to people. You've just made it like I'm singing about my journey and about my story.
You made them stop to think, like,
Yeah,
oh,
like,
wait a
you
minute.
get that?
Yeah.
Like,
I've always said, I think artists, if you're called to do what you do, you as an artist and you're writing, you'll find creative ways to deliver topics.
yes,
That's the only way. And a lot of them, there are artists where they are in mainstream, they're Christians, but the way that they deliver their songs is a reflection of their faith. They're just told differently, and you would never know until the story is told that, oh, this is about this, that, the other. And I think artists, yeah.
So when I said that, I now said, oh, by the way, that previous tweet, that's my life. I now said, I've got 28 years of virginity to pour into one woman.
Sheesh.
Then that tweet, that particular one,
Went viral.
I think it was just the vivid and descriptive way I said it. So apparently, I did not know that Bella had taken note of it.
Right.
But I was quite impressed with how they went about it. Because what they did was, they didn't reach out then. They waited for me to get married.
And then
They now sent a message that we took note of this. We would like you to share your story now that you're married.
wow.
Since now we believe that you should have put the 28 years. Right? So we told our story, my wife and I. Both of us actually, it wasn't just me, it was both
Amazing.
of us. So we learned with each other.
And I think, do you know what? I really wish people would take to that, because people are so quick to want to try. But it's like, if you are saying, till death do you part, you're doing this forever. You get to, you're what's the word? You're trialing, you're doing things. You're going to find out what works or not. You don't need to try before you buy.
The thing is, you see, the devil is smart. And mankind has been largely foolish since Adam.
Let's be real. Yeah.
And we do not realize that the simplicity of God's admonitions. Wisdom is inside. You have to learn your spouse. And I'm talking sexually. You have to learn. It takes time to learn what works, what the spouse likes. Because it's like worship. You are learning to please this person. The other person is learning to please you. Right? So what mankind has been doing, you say you're a maestro, but you're a maestro with 6 people, 6 different people. And there's nothing that says that what this person likes is what that person likes. So in actual fact, what it then becomes is not that you are an expert. You are not an expert. You are just going to be a confused person who is now comparing your spouse with
To
the
someone else
history
back
of
then.
partners that you had.
Yeah.
That's why you now arrive with unsatisfied people. It's not that the spouse isn't all right. It's just because there's unnecessary comparison with a barrage of exes.
Talk about it.
God's idea, God's plan. 2 of una go meet, una go marry, then una go start to dey learn together. So my knowledge of sex is with my wife.
Yeah, nobody else.
Nobody else.
Love that. Yeah.
My wife's knowledge of sex is with me. Nobody else. Now, not everybody can have that, but we should at least try to admonish our young people that this is the way to go. And that's part of what we do on Light Out when we go to secondary schools. Interestingly, that's where your question came from, right? So it's one of the values that we promote when we go around secondary schools and organize concerts. So with Light Out, we organize concerts. We go to high schools and organize concerts. We are not carrying the student. We are going into their school, organize a concert in their school, and leverage that excitement to promote values. Our core values are stewardship, delayed gratification, which is something that's very needed in Nigeria. Delayed gratification, dedication, hard work, dignity of labor. Also very needed in Nigeria.
Dignity of labor.
Dignity of labor, stewardship, delayed gratification, and abstinence. And at least 3 of the what's it called now? The SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. At least 3 or 4 of those goals are embedded inside those values. So if we say we are teaching stewardship, which is taking responsibility for your environment and what's around you, even when it is not your personal possession.
Come on.
Right? SDG 12 is there. Climate change is there because you care for your environment. Sustainable environment, responsible consumption and production is there. Right? If you talk about reproductive health, abstinence is there. They're going to tell you ABC. Abstinence, condoms. The B is be careful. Abstinence, be careful, and condoms. That's what United Nations
as class
pushes
for
to curb STDs,
sexual health,
HIV/AIDS, and the spread of sexually transmitted diseases, and reproductive health, ensuring that young girls don't get pregnant, through which they miss out on education and all of that.
Yeah.
So they push ABC: abstinence, be careful, and condoms. But they'll hardly push A.
No. The other 2.
They are always pushing B and C, whereas A is the most effective. Right? Everybody just believes that it's not possible, that everybody's banging. Not everybody's banging.
Clearly not, because you were proof of that.
People keeping themselves, preserving themselves. Till tomorrow, the values that can build a society are Judeo-Christian. Judeo-Christian values. Judeo-Christian.
What's that? I've never heard of that term.
Judaism.
Right.
These are the values that build the West.
Yes. Wow.
In Germany, you're talking, it started from Martin Luther. in the UK, John Knox in Scotland, you know, then the men who founded Yankee. You know, if you trace the history of Western civilization, it will go back to Judeo-Christian values.
Interesting. I have to look that up because I've never really have. Well, first I've never heard of it, but now it's something intriguing that I would like to actually find out about, which I think is pretty good and stuff. So as you do this lights out thing, how is it hard because it's such a big social do you know what? I think that just said it all. Like that, that reaction just said it all. So, I mean, yes, it is hard, but
So when
in
God
terms of
told me to go
pushing
to my school,
school, yeah.
I said, not. So 2015, hey, I was telling you the gist now. I was telling you the gist. So got married 2014. When Bella Naja published the story, people heard about our story.
Mm-hmm.
Then a radio station invited me to come and talk about my story. It was not music they called me for. They just when I got to the radio station, there were more people looking for me than the presenter. There was a guy that said he wants to see me. When I come, they should please bring him to see him. So when I came, he's looking at me like, and he's like, "You're actually very alright."
What was he expecting?
Like there was a reason why.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Chige. Then the GM of the station had asked that when I come, she would like to see me.
Yeah.
So he took me to the GM. So she was asking stories that she really likes that kiniko, all of that. Even the reason why Bella reached out was because they said they've had plenty of stories of ladies who kept themselves. But they hadn't had a guy. So the fact that he's a guy, they wanted to hear my story. Right? So the woman, while I'm gisting with the woman, the man's like, it sounds like, I went to KC, I was in one youth camp where I got into a covenant of purity. By the time I go back to KC is surrounded by red light districts, so I mean, I've gisted with prostitutes when I was 15. But by the time I was all I could do, just gist. But there were other boys who could do a lot more. Now, I was already in a covenant of purity by the time I was in SS3.
Wow.
So I was caged by God. Right? So she was saying, you should go back and go and share your story with the students. She was the first person that mentioned that thing. I was like, actually, yeah, I should. Okay, all right. Well, I left it. The following year, 2016, I can't remember what happened there, but something happened. It came back to my mind again that I should go back. But my head, I'm like, that's when you want to give back to society. This society has not given me anything. So what am I giving back? Right. Then 2017, the following year, then it became very strong. So I'm like, okay, I'll go and do it. And I was so broke. But one way or the other, somehow, it happened. Now, the day before we went to KC, I was praying with my guys, and that's when I heard God say, this thing, I just use KC to pull you in. You are going to go round several schools. You are going to be going around schools. So I became busy going around schools. I was busy, but it was not in church. But I was busy and I was doing God's work.
But I think, and that's important because you are positioned in the place where the future generations of different industries, like I said at the beginning when I did the intro,
there are people who were engaged as secondary school students who are already working now. They finished high school, they finished university, they are working, they are in the workforce of the nation.
Exactly.
Some of them there's a babe in US now that she was in QC. There's a girl, and I was talking about this morning. There's a girl who now has been to the UN. She runs one of the biggest climate change organizations in Nigeria.
And that was because of...
And I just found out, I didn't even know, I was on a panel with her. And when I talked about what we do, she then shouted and said, I was in SS2 in QC when you guys came.
You see that?
I won't cry.
I would too. That's actually quite emotional to think. Yeah.
It was like, I'm on the panel with her.
Mad.
And my work had impacted her, or our work had impacted her 6 years ago. So she experienced light out twice. and it sparked something in her, and that has, led here.
Yeah.
And that's the person I met. We've engaged over 31,000 students across 6-7 years. Some of them I would never know what that seed
Has done for
has
them.
done for them until I get to heaven.
Mm.
So it's a privilege. It was tough. You asked if it's tough. It was tough. It is tough.
Mm.
As I'm getting back to Nigeria now, we have 2 editions of Lighthouse to go and execute into
Amazing.
public schools. So we're still doing it. We're reaching people now that when we started, we're in primary school.
Wow.
So the work continues.
Yeah. And are you finding that the educational establishments are actually welcoming with this initiative? Because sometimes they can
are
be
more welcoming when they don't have to commit any funds to it.
typical.
So we have to find
You have to find a way
to
yeah.
get the funds that will push it. There's a post on my page where we announced that for the first time after 6 years, we have our first external organizational support.
Wow.
From the German consulate. So the German consulate is part funding what we're doing in 2 public schools next month.
Amazing.
Right? Those will be our 22nd and 23rd editions. We have done 21 editions without any grant.
Gosh.
No grant, it's just us and individuals who give the 50K, 100K, 20K, 5K here and there. Oh, we're going to this school if you want to support us. And they do whichever way we are going to the school. Do you get what I mean? We've done 21 without any grant from any. We had a meeting with an NGO.
Wow.
And they were amazed at what we had done without grant, because they had, in fact, their major grant support they had was it 200,000? I think it was 200 or 500,000 USD. Yes, NGOs are raking in tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Jeez.
And maybe just a handful are actually doing the work. Right? But for me, there's an NGO dimension to it. It's not even an NGO yet. It's not even registered as an NGO. It's a
Will you register it as?
Yeah, we probably would. But because of everything that I do, this is what is dearest to my heart. Of all the platforms, Aramanda, which is big, and festival and all of that, Black Flame, which everybody, I've been in the UK now for close to 5 weeks, and I've had more people walk up to me and greet me for Black Flame than for my music. And Black Flame is just 5 or 6 months old. We've done just 11 episodes. So that's how far-reaching the impact has been. Plus Black Flame, plus everything. None is as dear to my heart as Lighthouse. Because you just see the impact that it makes in the lives of teenagers and preteens. And you see these young people who, they are not anti-God. They just need someone to speak their language. They are very malleable. So it's who is getting to them that they follow.
And you have to be positioned in a way to get to them first before somebody else does. Yep. Oh, God. Yes, before likes of him and his peers, is ilk. Get there. Because at that age, they're very impressionable. And you have to plant that that seed of, you don't need to do this to get this.
Yeah.
Start here, build this, have this, and then you'll get this.
We've even authored a book for teenagers.
Wow. What's the name of the book?
Anomaly. It's called Anomaly, the life of Divergents.
Did the
So in
movie? Did the
20,
movie? Did the movie inspire you? Because that's the only thing I can like relate, connect it to.
in 2020 when COVID happened, we couldn't go to any school.
Wow.
So we're just thinking, how else can
Could
we
we?
reach teenagers? And the idea came, it built and built and built. So we came up with 4 short stories that illustrate the 4 values. And we put it together, and we have so far distributed over 2,000 copies, free to students.
Wow.
Free. So it's still either a self-funding or individual partners support. We print we've not even published publicly. We've not announced. It's
So
not on
it's
my page.
just a thing like a almost like a pamphlet type of thing.
It's not a pamphlet.
No, I mean it's a book.
It's a book, full-fledged book.
But it's not
if
like
you were here and I showed you, you'd be tripped. It's with colors and pictures, everything full, well published book. It's
so
just
you need a
like
publisher basically for you to help that to get that to another level.
Yeah, exactly. So it can be maybe like on Amazon and because we brought was it 80 copies or 60 copies to the UK. It's all gone.
Wow.
The adults are like buying it for their teenagers. Just like, so I was like, okay, I underrated the UK, so I bought more. But it's not about bringing.
It's not.
It's been available virtually and
everywhere globally.
Order their copies globally. Like I know that book will bless the world. Like what we
I think because in terms of when people the groups a lot of people focus on that, like young kids, like babies, the toddlers to like not to teens, but you have positioned yourself to the teen level where, like I said, that's the very most impressionable way. That's where they're going through so many changes. They're going through puberty. They're going through so much,
through
like
emotional differences. You are falling in love for the first time. You're having your first crush.
That part.
I mean, when there are DMs, we get hundreds of DMs. DMs coming in. I'm 13. What do you think? Can I have a boyfriend? My friends have, but I'm not sure. I can't ask my parents. I can't ask my teacher.
Crazy.
But you guys it feels like you guys will understand. It feels like you will understand. Other messages, I love how you love God and you're cool about it. You know that person has been born in church. Right.
Or being sheltered.
Or being caged.
Very caged, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Streamlined. Messages saying, oh, I'm struggling with porn, what can I do? I'm struggling with masturbation. I'm saying different things that teenagers reaching out. Over the years that we've been, by God's grace, able to help. But yeah, so I mean, at the work they send us, they do.
Absolutely. And again, this is why I wanted to talk to you about this, because I think it is such a great initiative for our young people. You're out there. It's not just things in church. It's outside of that. It's where kids are 90% of the time in school with friends and being impressionable, and they'll be like, okay, you do this and I'll do this, all that kind of thing. So you've positioned yourself in the place where like, this is where we're gonna get these young ones and make sure that we are instilling in them values, obviously the Christ-centered values, but just being right and just at the same time, which I think is important. So I have to applaud you for that, because I think it's fantastic. It's really good. So what are your hopes for Lights Out in the next, I don't know, like, let's say 5 years? What's your hope for Lights Out in 5 years? And do you just want it? Because I know you're in Nigeria at the moment, but do you plan for it to be?
And that's my answer, and I will answer the question.
I'll.
So my hope, I'll answer to one. First is to no longer have to directly, personally lead it.
Okay.
To have younger people who can champion that
So raising
cause.
leaders as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Then to go beyond where we've done. We've done Lagos, we've done Ogun, one school in Ogun. So even within, see, light out, and the work that light out does. If one focuses only on that, if that's all one person, if we say, okay, this is our whole establishment, this is the only thing we want to focus on, you can't finish it.
Wow.
Even if you focus squarely on that, you can't finish it.
Because it's
There are, in Lagos State alone in Nigeria, Lagos State, there are 18,000 private schools.
18,000
Private schools.
Wow. I did not think it was that many.
So, Lagos alone, even if you wanted to touch half, is 9,000. How many do you want to go? And that's just Lagos. That's 1 out of 36 states in Nigeria.
Jeez.
Which was part of why we made the book. If you ask me what was my dream for the book, it would be to get it into the hands of every secondary school student in Nigeria. Get the book into the hands of every secondary school student in Nigeria. We don't have to go and organize concerts everywhere.
No.
If the book gets to them, something will shift in the psyche of the following generation in Nigeria. I say that hands down. I know. Right? But that and this is just Nigeria. I was in Rwanda, I think 2 or 3 years ago. I was in Rwanda twice. And every time I see maybe like 2 p.m. and secondary school students are, maybe like on the road, walking home and stuff, my heart reaches out. Like, I can't explain it. Like, I'm just like, this is light out.
This is your perfect prime. People,
I didn't feel that in UK. Right. So I think
because they got it together.
Is more. I really have a heart for Africa. I'm wearing it on my chest. So I would love to reach African youth with the message of light out. Like I said, not even Nigeria, just Lagos alone. 18,000 private schools.
And that's a lot of teenagers.
So imagine there are just 100 students per school. That's 1.8 million. And there are many. KC alone will have maybe like 3K. QC will have like 3K. All those unity schools.
Yeah.
So imagine how many 10 to 17-year-olds we have and how we can shape their ideology and their thinking. So we take them from
gutter to
Chige.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. So what would be your, I guess, advice to someone who is looking to get into looking to do something that you're doing at the moment with Lights Out, like this social impact, changing lives, shaping the ideas and thoughts of young people? What would you advise them going into something like this? Things that need to be.
Just start. That's the best advice. Just start. People ask me, how did you get the permission? How did you do all these schools? Which school did you finish from? That's your lowest hanging fruit.
Wow.
Go there. They are going to listen to you. You're an alumnus. So I want to come back and talk to my younger ones. All I learned, all the amazing things you people taught us. They'll be proud. Oh, yes, come on.
Flip it a little bit.
Then you get that. You start from there. Is there a school near your house? if it is schools you are thinking. But it's not just schools. I've been saying it. Everybody has to find a people group they are going to. Everybody has to find a people group God is sending you to. Where's your people group? Maybe yours is media, and you are doing your work. The doctor that is in the hospital, do you realize that that's your nation? It says you go into all nations and you make disciples of nations. Where your place of work, your field, that's your place. So you disciple nations there. You shine as light there. You carry the light of God and go there and shine there. Not to be blinding each other inside church.
Makes sense.
That's what we've been doing for the most part. That's why there's so much politics in church. Because we are overcrowded there. That's not your place of function. That's where you're supposed to develop. That's where you're supposed to be discipled.
And then go out.
You go out. We're not going out. We're just staying and fighting and staying and arguing. Arguing on Twitter, arguing on IG, throwing shade up and down between pastors, doing just up and down, just
irrelevant things basically, and not using their time or not using wisdom wisely.
I feel like when the Bible says there's now a crowd seeing now that there's a crowd of witness looking at us and cheering us on this race. I don't think they're cheering right now. They're probably just like, what the heck are you guys doing?
Wow.
There's work to be done, man.
There is. And have you faced any opposition from like church groups? Because oh wow.
Steady, man. Steady. Just go on Twitter and check now.
Wow.
Every AK market day they try to drag themselves. So that's not a business.
God.
It's not them that sent me on the message.
Wow. And you would think that would be the first point to really support you and help.
If you check track, but that's how it is. That's how it is. Your most attack will come from within.
It's sad though.
To me, no longer.
It doesn't really faze you much because you know that the work is out there.
I responded to one time because that one was sad because it was like there's something wrong with your thinking. If you say Elijah level, nobody can give their life to Christ listening to Elijah level. It means that you don't understand how the word works. You don't understand the ways of the Spirit. That's what it means. But so I responded to that one. But mostly nobody on the pitch playing football is going to be responding to commentators on the stands that are criticizing the game. No, that's your place. Your place is to be commenting. You don't have work. Be commenting. Let those who are doing the work be doing the work.
Yeah. Gosh, it's sad, but then there's no time to be sad because there's work to be done. So you just got to press through with the work and continue, and I guess God to see you through it, really. So yeah, I just want to say I hail you. Thank you and fully respect you for what you are doing because, like you said, it's not easy, but God has put you there for a reason and is continuing to. And I hope that, that the right people will come your way, in terms of, because you mentioned the publishers, you mentioned the funding, but then also raising those leaders as well to take it to another level and keep the premise of what the actual platform is all about and why it's, why it was created in the first place. So, and you are the reason that I'm doing this whole thing because we need to shine a light on stuff like this. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
For telling us about it because I think it's brilliant. So if people wanted to get involved with Lights Out, how can they support? Where can they get
out?
Oh, Light Out. Sorry.
No,
Light Out.
yes.
How can people get involved with Light Out?
You can send an email to reachus@lightout.org. That's reachus@lightout.org. Or you can send an email to my official email address, which is bamisoro@gaisebaba.com. Bamisoro, which means
speak to me.
Bamisoro@gaisebaba.com. Gaise Baba is GAISEBABA.
on there as well.
on that, or just send me a DM. Instagram,
Easy.
Twitter, it's easy.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you go on IG, there's a number that you can call on the profile. The email is also on the profile. So
To call, yeah.
just send us a message and we'll be glad to find like-minded people.
Which is very important. Very, very important. People who get the vision
Yes.
as well, who really get the vision of it. All right. Your social handles, I mean, you kind of like
It's
you
Gaise
just said
Baba
it, but
everywhere.
Gaise-
Everywhere you go online, it's Gaise Baba.
just try it.
GAISEBABA. So people can hear me. It's GAISEBABA. Gaise Baba. Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. Even the website is gaisebaba.com. So you can't miss it.
You can't miss it. I mean, type it is probably the first thing that comes up on Google. So
It is.
it'll be very easy. So, Gaise Baba, thank you so much for being my guest on Taking Up Space. I really appreciate it. And to you, thank you so much for watching. And if you've been listening on the podcast platforms, thank you very much. Make sure that you follow the profile, and on YouTube, you know what you need to do. You need to just please let us know what you thought about this.
Share,
Can you do it for me, please? I want you to. Can you do it?
like, subscribe, share. You're welcome to our YouTube channel, Taking Up Space with Lady T. Kandid with Lady T, Taking Up Space.
There you go.
Follow, share, like, because it helps the algorithm to know that what we're doing is important. You get what I mean? And if you've listened to this session, you know it's important. So you want to do exactly what I said you should do. Like, share, and subscribe. Or the other way, subscribe, share, and like. Just make sure you do it.
I love it. What he said. So I'm not going to repeat it at all. So I will see you in the next episode. God bless.